She didn't know why, but she felt restless. The words she had written still hummed in her chest, refusing to settle. It wasn't a feeling of worry, more like a gentle tug, a pulse that whispered, "Go." Riding again had made her feel lighter, freer, as if a small weight had lifted from her chest. And now, the walls of her house felt too tight to hold her. The sky was pale gold, just after sunrise, and the morning air smelled of dew and earth. She picked up the car keys, slipped the journal into her bag, and stepped outside. The world shimmered in soft light, quiet and full of possibility. She drove slowly, windows cracked just enough to let in the scent of pine and damp leaves. The rising sun painted the road ahead in streaks of pink and gold, casting long, fleeting shadows. Each reflection on the wet asphalt seemed to echo the small liberation she had glimpsed on the page. When she reached the forest, the air shifted, cool, damp, alive. She parked, stepped out, and the sound of her footsteps on gravel was swallowed almost instantly by the hush of trees. The trail was familiar, the one she always took when she needed quiet. But today, something felt different. The forest had a pulse. Every sound, Every flicker of light seemed to lean toward her. She began to walk. Birdsong echoed faintly above, the leaves still dripping from last night's rain. She ran her fingers along the bark of a cedar, rough and grounding. Then she noticed it. A flicker of movement just ahead. Not quite light, not quite shadow, something in between. It glimmered briefly through the trees, like a reflection that shouldn't have been there. She hesitated, eyes narrowing, heart quickening. And then, before she could think, her feet were moving. She followed it deeper into the forest, through a narrow gap between trees, down a slope she didn't remember. Branches brushed her shoulders, moss dampened her shoes. The air thickened, scented with cedar and wild mint. Sometimes she lost sight of it, the faint shimmer. Other times, it seemed to pause, as if waiting for her. She didn't know why she trusted it, only that she couldn't not follow. Minutes stretched. The forest grew quieter. Only her breath and heartbeat remained. When she finally stopped, she looked around and realized the trail was gone. The trees had closed in behind her, tall and silent. She turned slowly, trying to retrace her steps, but everything looked the same. Bark, moss, mist. A low breeze swept through, lifting strands of her hair. And that's when she saw it again. The shimmer. Farther now, deeper in the woods. It pulsed once, soft as breath, then vanished. ELARA stood still. Something inside her, the same path that had brought her here, urged her forward again. But as she stepped ahead, the forest opened into a small clearing. Two paths lay before her. One marked and even, leading back toward light she recognized. The other, narrow and tangled, vanishing into mist. Her pulse steadied. She exhaled, realizing this was never about the forest. It was about the choice.
Maybe that is how change comes. Not all at once, but as a quiet invitation. A shimmer in the distance, a feeling we can't explain. A pull toward what we don't yet understand. It asks us to follow, not because it promises clarity, but because it promises truth. ELARA didn't come to the forest looking for answers. She came because something in her was ready to move, to step out of the familiar rhythm she'd lived in for too long, to find herself somewhere unshadowed. Sometimes getting lost is the only way to be found. Sometimes the path disappears so a truer one can appear. And when we reach that fork between the unknown and the known, we can't always see where either will lead. But our body knows, our soul knows. The shimmer we follow is often the part of us that remembers who we are meant to become.
She took one last breath, eyes lingering on the familiar path. Then she turned toward the mist. The air thickened, cool and silver. Each step felt uncertain and right at once. She didn't look back. The forest quieted again, but not in silence. In the kind of sacred stillness, as if it knew this moment mattered. Somewhere in the distance, a bird called out, clear, bright, unafraid. And ELARA followed the sound deeper into the unknown. Beginnings rarely announce themselves. They whisper, and the brave ones listen.